My name is Alla and I'm from Alla's Yummy Food.
Hi there, всем привет! Welcome to my channel Alla's Yummy Food. I'm Alla and the host of this show.
I was born in Latvia and over the years I became so passionate and inspired by Russian and Baltic food, especially cakes. In this masterclass, I'm going to show you some of my favorite childhood comfort dishes. So let's get started. We're gonna start with our chicken. So over here, I've got these beautiful, fresh chicken breasts. And what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna place them onto the board and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna cut it in half. This is very, very simple. You're gonna need a sharp knife and you're gonna go across the chicken right through the middle and just cut it in half. Because we want the meat to be nice and thin, this is really important, as this is going to make the chicken very juicy. We're going to go ahead and do that with our second breast. Just be really careful when you're holding the chicken. Just place your hands here and just go across the knife. And then it's going to come out nice and easy, just like so. Now I'm going to set this aside for a second. We're going to get our board ready. Now we're going to tenderize our beautiful chicken. So place a little bit of cling film on top of your board. Just roll it out. A little hack I want to give you: when you place your cling film, use a sharp knife and just go across it. And that will cut your cling film in nice, perfect shape, just like so. Then take your chicken breasts and place them right in the middle. And you can do the whole lot at the same time. It's up to you. I usually do 2 at a time as it's just a bit easier. And then you're gonna wrap the chicken back in cling film. And this is really to prevent the juices floating everywhere. Just do that. I'm gonna do another cut. Look at this. Now, if you have a meat tenderizer, you can do that. I just have a rolling pin, and to be honest, this is very fun. So I'm just gonna tenderize the chicken and make sure it flattens out. Just like that. Nice and easy. I have actually prepared the chicken already, and I'm gonna show you how it needs to look at the end. Here is my final tenderized chicken. Look how it looks, nice and flat. Now, this again is gonna relax the muscle, which means that the chicken will be so juicy and fresh. Very, very beautiful, okay? And actually what happens as well, it increases the volume of the actual chicken breast. So essentially it feels like you're eating a lot more, but it's only one chicken breast and you're getting 2 pieces for one, which is amazing, right? You can eat more. So I'm just gonna set this aside for a moment. Now we're gonna make our delicious batter. Now my grandma used to, love this batter because it's so quick and easy, and she taught me this recipe. And I remember when I was little, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was mixing everything together in one bowl. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add our eggs, okay, inside the bowl, together with mayonnaise. Now mayonnaise is one of those Latvian ingredients that we love, and we add it pretty much in a lot of things. So I do recommend adding it, as it really elevates that flavor of your dish. And we don't need a lot, and this could be our secret. You don't need to tell anyone what's the secret ingredient. Then we're gonna mix everything together with a whisk. I'm just gonna go and get my whisk. And all you're going to do, you're just going to lightly break down the eggs together with mayonnaise. Just like that. You don't need to mix for very long, just a little bit. What we're doing is we're airing up the eggs, adding some extra air and breaking down the proteins. And, that's going to add so much flavor there. Next, we're going to add our seasoning. Now, traditionally, we use a lot of salt and pepper, and also my grandma used to use garlic powder, and that's what I'm going to use today. So just add a pinch of pepper, a pinch of salt. Again, regulate this to your taste. If you want to add something else, then go ahead. I just like it actually quite simple and basic. And then garlic powder over here. Now I'm just going to give this another mix. There we go. Last ingredient is actually plain flour. So this dish is so simple. You know, you can literally do this at home. Everybody has all the ingredients I've just listed, and it's just so delicious. So I'm going to add a little bit of flour at a time, and you want to control your batter. So here, this depends on you. I'm going to mix this through and show you how it looks. If you like it more thick, then you can add more flour. If you like it more runny, then add less flour. That's how simple it is. And also another trick I can give you, if you mess up by any chance, let's say you've added too much flour and the mixture became too thick, you can always add an extra egg. That's your little trick for the day. So I'm just mixing this through. You see how the batter is quite still liquid, so I like it a bit more thick. So I'm just going to add a bit more flour over here, and that should be plenty, and give it a nice mix. Look at that. Now it's looking delicious already. There we go. This is our final consistency, like a thick sour cream or yogurt. Think of it like that. I'm just going to put my whisk away. Now my batter is done. Let's set this aside. Now we're going to move on to our stove, and I'm already preheating my pan over here. The secret here is that you want your pan to be nice and hot, and we're going to use some oil. So add oil into your pan and be quite generous. You know, if you like it nice and crispy, you definitely want to add more oil. If you don't want it crispy, which I know you do, because once you try this dish, you're going to want to have it very, very crispy. And we're going to preheat the oil and set this aside until I get my chicken ready. So take your batter and your chicken. And now this is probably the easiest simple step that you can ever do. All we're going to do, we're going to dip each chicken piece into our batter and then place it onto our frying pan. That's how quick and easy this is. Just take that in. You can also dip this, you know, in advance and just leave the chicken in there if you want to. But just go ahead and dip from both sides. Look at this. We're just going to wait a little bit for it to drip down because, you know, we don't want all the butter there. And then you're going to pick up your bowl, go over to your pan and place it right in there into the oil. And I'm just going to repeat this with the rest of the chicken. Okay, so because my frying pan is quite big, I can probably do 2 pieces. So don't overcrowd your pan. As you will see, the batter will just, you know, ooze out around the chicken. This is actually the best bit. Just place the chicken there. I'm just gonna wash my hand. I do recommend seasoning your chicken one more time because we do have seasoning in our batter, but that's not enough usually. So just take your pepper, salt and garlic powder, come over to the frying pan and just add a little pinch on top. Just like that. And we're going to cook our chicken escalopes on very, very low temperature, okay? Because we really obviously want to cook the chicken. So the secret here is to cook it nice and slow. A lot of patience over here. Just going to add a pinch of pepper. If you love pepper, feel free to add more. And as always, regulate your spices how you like it. Now the smell of these reminds me, literally takes me back to my home. So I was about 7 and we used to live in Dacia. Dacia is like a holiday house in Latvia. And my granny used to make these every Saturday. And actually one of the other traditional meats that we have is pork. So you can make these with chicken or pork, any meat that you like. Now you can see how the sound is going loud. It's time to turn this over. So just lift this up and turn it around. And it might sparkle, so just be careful. And just go ahead and turn your other one. And look at that. Look at this beautiful golden color. What I love about this, which I mentioned before, is look, this is just one chicken breast and it looks huge. So if you're really hungry, this one, you know, this can be yours. And yeah, my granny always used to make these and we would wait around the table, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna eat it with today. But you can serve this dish pretty much with anything, you know. I love it with mashed potato. You can have it with buckwheat or rice or noodles. It's really up to you. My beautiful chicken is done. I'm just gonna move this aside and it's time to plate this. take your plate. I recommend taking a large plate so that, you know, you can make a bit of a show from here. And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna pick our chicken. I don't even know which piece to take. I want to take the bigger one, but I'm gonna go with the small one. Put your chicken right inside. And then over here, I've actually prepared some mashed potatoes. Now these are so creamy, and again, just takes me back to my childhood. My grandma babushka used to always make this for me. I like it with a lot of butter and actually double cream. I know a lot of people use milk, but I just love it. Very nice and creamy. So I'm gonna take a dollop and place this onto the plate. And I love a lot of mashed potato. Place it right on top like this. And then of course we're gonna add more butter. So I'm just gonna take a spoon. And so a little trick what my granny used to do, she would smooth out the mashed potato like this and then make little sort of incisions, like holes. And then we would add the butter in there, and when the butter melts, it would go into these little holes of mashed potato, which, you know, makes the dish very beautiful and delicious. Not the healthiest, but it's the, you know, comfort food. This is what I call comfort food, you know, comfort on a plate. Lastly, we're gonna add, of course, our gherkins or pickles. Over here, I've got some agurchiki in Russian, and just put these onto the plate. This is how we eat it in Latvia. Or you can serve it with a summer salad. Just add these in. Look at that. Last thing we're going to do, we're going to add some fresh parsley. So just take it over. You can also use fresh dill. It's up to you, whatever grows in your garden, if you have one. In Latvia, everyone has a garden. And just sprinkle it on top, just like this. And there you go. Our final dish is done. Beautiful chicken escalopes, or отбивные in Russian, with mashed potatoes and gherkins.